Hello and welcome, online money makers. This is Michelle Brubaker here, and I am going to be talking about Instagram today. And I brought Jasmin here. Yeah, she is a pro, a whiz, and a master of Instagram. And that's why I asked her to be here with you today to talk about Instagram, especially because you know what? If you are brand new at starting a business or you're adding a new stream of income, you need to know this about Instagram. It might be just the perfect thing to promote and build your business. Jasmin works with startups and entrepreneurs. And so that's why specifically I had to get her here just for you. So Jasmin, take a quick minute, introduce yourself and where you're from. Tell our folks a little bit about you.
Thanks so much, Michelle. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to be here with all of you guys. So I'm Jasmin, as Michelle mentioned. I currently live in Houston, Texas, but I am originally from Miami. So I love the beach. If I could be on the beach every day working, that's where I would be. I'm a mom, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I am Instagram obsessed. So I love talking about Instagram, anything social media. So we could be here all day, really, if we wanted to.
Well, that's super great because you know what? We'll go and we'll answer questions. So anybody that's watching today, please put in the comments. We'll answer them right here live for you. Whatever you want to know about Instagram, Jasmin's going to share that with us. And wow, you're from Miami, and then now you're in Houston, and I see your fan on because it's like, what, 100 degrees?
Oh, yeah, it's hot. It's been in the hundreds the past couple of weeks. I think we have a cold front coming. We're going to be in the 80s next week. So, 20-degree difference is a cold front. So it'll still be hot, though.
And that'd be pretty nice. Your cold weather over here.
Yes. Yeah. Our cold weather is, 40s, 50s, 60s, around that. And for a Miami girl, that's cold.
Oh, you'd be freezing your fanny off, wouldn't you? Well, great. Well, let's talk about Instagram. So let's talk to people. Some people have they've heard of Instagram. They don't know what it is. We're so used to Facebook. Give us the beginner's, crash course on what it is and would I be interested? Is this something that's for me?
Good question. So I always like to think about Instagram as of course, it's a visual platform, right? So you definitely have to be in the mindset of, I've got to take good quality pictures, and you can do that with your phone. It doesn't have to be professional. But I think with any social media platform, we always have to remember, is that where my target audience is, right? So I'm not a big believer, and you'll hear different things from different people. I'm not a big believer of being on every single platform. Because you'll spread yourself too thin. It's overwhelming. There's just too much. It's too time consuming. So where's your target audience? And if they're on Instagram, then Instagram's a good place for you.
Oh, that's great. How do we know that if they're there? Is it a certain demographic?
So I would say Instagram is mostly used by 30 to 45-year-olds. Okay, so if your target audience is 65, they're probably not on Instagram.
Okay.
If your target audience is 18, they might be, but they're probably not either. So that 30 to 45 range is usually best. Both men and women are on Instagram. But what makes Instagram special and different and unique is the hashtags. Mm-hmm. So the hashtags are what help you to find your target audience and for them to find you.
And folks might not know what a hashtag is. Can you go a little bit into depth on what hashtags are? They're that little pound symbol, or it looks like a mini tic-tac-toe.
Right. And if you're old enough to remember, like pound sign is what we used to call it, right? And now it's the hashtag sign.
Yep.
So a hashtag is, so if you've got the pound sign and then a word or a series of words behind it. And what happens is with that hashtag is, let's say I use the hashtag entrepreneur. Okay. So I use that hashtag with my posts that I'm posting on Instagram. That means that anyone can click on that hashtag and see all of the posts that have ever used hashtag entrepreneur.
So categorizing things, sort of.
Categorizing things. I also like to think of hashtags like the Google of Instagram.
Okay.
So or SEO for your website.
Yeah.
Right? That is your hashtag on Instagram. It's the ability to search for people and for people to search and find you.
Well, I was posting on Instagram the other day. I don't do it very often. I don't know if that's my target market. I'll have to think about that, what you just said. That is your target market on Instagram, and then you would know if you should go there. But because my personal business is publishing, I was like, okay, looking at hashtags, hashtag self-publisher, that kind of thing. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of in there. It's really easy to search for them for people. What would be some examples of hashtags? We have people who are influencers or people who have an e-commerce store. What would they do for hashtags?
So I always recommend with hashtags, think about what is your target audience searching for. So not so much about who are you, but what are they searching for? So let's say you mentioned like publishing or self-publishing. So as an entrepreneur or as a coach, someone who would want to self-publish, what would I be searching for? I might be looking for publishers, right? So that's the way that I like to think about it. What would my target audience search for, and then use those relevant hashtags with it?
Let's say I own a t-shirt store, because a lot of our people are doing print on demand. They might do mugs and mugs or t-shirt stores, online stores, and they might have all kinds of, they're doing print on demand, printables. A lot of the folks that are here have like a shop on Etsy, things like that. So if they're using Instagram and they've got a t-shirt or a coffee mug or something with their brand or logo or theme on it, if their theme is unicorns, or whatever, what kind of things would they do for hashtags for their
So let's say you've got a unicorn store. Let's use that as the example. So the cool thing about Instagram is once you kind of go down the rabbit hole of hashtags, you can keep finding more. So I do recommend researching the hashtags. So we can sit here and come up with some ideas, but they might not be good until we actually click on that hashtag and see what other people have used, right? We want to make sure that well, let me backtrack. I'll give you an example. I had a client who is a fitness, she's a personal trainer. And she does a lot of workouts for women who want to tone their butt, their bottom end, right? So she was using the hashtag with the word booty in it. And I said, let's look at that, because that could be a word that could be misused, right? So when we went and looked, there were some inappropriate things that she did not want to be associated with that word. So now she decided she's not using that hashtag anymore. So
you want to make sure it's alignment with what your business is.
Exactly, right? So we can come up with some good ones here, but definitely go in and check them out before you decide that you want to use them. Right. So you always want to do research. Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about what a hashtag is. So let's say I'm ready to go check it out and I want to start doing Instagram. What would be the first thing I would do? I got to open an account. How do I do that?
Yes. So you definitely want to sign up for an Instagram account. Very simple. Use an email and, create a username. Now for your username, if you're on other platforms, I do typically recommend using the same, username across all social media platforms just for consistency. But I also like to think about for your username on Instagram, the way that the Instagram platform works. You do want to use a catchy name that's relevant to your brand, right? So if, for example, if you just use your name, so my name's Jasmin Augustine. If I use Jasmin Augustine as my handle, that's not very intriguing. So if someone who doesn't know me finds my page or sees my name, they might be like, oh, that's not very interesting. So they might not click on it. But maybe my name on Instagram is Media Jasmin. They might be like, oh, Media Jasmin. What is media? Okay, social media. So then it kind of has some sort of intrigue, some sort of interest there. So kind of think of a name that people would want to click on, or that people would want to find out who you are, right? Or what you're.
That's a great idea for people who are either influencers or want to be an influencer, to use something catchy as their name like that, or relevant. Can you change it later on?
Yes.
It is changeable?
Yeah, you can change it. If you do change it, you will lose it. So just be aware that someone else can now take your old name.
Okay. Can you, if I own an online store, I have an e-commerce store, would I name my Instagram channel the name of my store?
Yes, I would. I would definitely name it the name of your store as close as possible if the name isn't available. Sometimes people take names and then they don't use them. And then it's like, oh, I want that name. You're using my name, right? But try to get as close as possible to your store. Yeah.
Good. So we create an account. Now, can we do it on our laptop, or does it have to be on an iPhone, or not iPhone, a mobile or tablet?
You should be able to do it on either. You could do it on the app, or you could go to Instagram.com. So Instagram does work on the website. It doesn't have all the features as the app. So you definitely want to use the app more than the website, but you can do some stuff on there. If you have a business, I do suggest setting up a business profile on Instagram. So you would connect your Instagram to your Facebook business page in order for Instagram to recognize you as a business. So that's important. You do get some extra features, and you get some insights and analytics that you don't get with a personal account.
Good. That's good. So we go to Instagram, we open an account, and we get a great name for our account that's relevant to us or our store or shop or whatever that is. And then we start posting pictures and then hashtags.
And then you start posting pictures and using hashtags. I typically suggest if you can post 3 to 5 times per week, that's always a really good number. It's kind of a large range, right? 3 and then 5. So it varies. I do know some people who post 3 times a day, and I do know some people who only post 2 times a week. So I think it depends on your goals. You have to know what your goals are for your business just in general, but make sure that aligns with your social media usage. And you don't want to, I don't want to get too deep into the algorithm, but you don't want to overwhelm the algorithm by posting too much, because that could sometimes be negative to your account, actually.
Yeah, like you're spamming or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to appear as though we are spammy or a robot of any sort.
Definitely. So since it's also a social media platform, am I friending people or following people or whatever as I'm building my Instagram channel?
You are. Now, I typically recommend following people that you're interested in, right? I don't like the follow for follow type of game that some people play, where it's like, if you follow me, I'll follow you, but if you unfollow me, I'll unfollow you. It gets a little bit weird. So I usually recommend, follow the people that bring some sort of value to you. It could be others in your industry. It could be people who you can learn from, who give some sort of tips about how to grow your business on that platform. And of course, you can follow friends and family, people who you know in real life. But yeah, you definitely want to follow people. You want to show Instagram that you are interested in being on Instagram, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So then let's say we want to, we got our picture posted. Now we're going to put a little caption with it.
Yes, definitely want to put a caption. So when Instagram first came out, years ago, I think it's been about a decade since Instagram came out. It's been that long. When Instagram first came out, of course, they didn't know what they were going to do, where it was going to go, right? Where it is today. But you would just put a filter on your photo. You'd, type one little sentence or a couple words as a caption. You put some hashtags and you'd call it a day. Now it's much more intentional because it's very competitive. There are a lot of people who are on Instagram. Instagram is the most used social media platform on a daily basis. So we're competing for eyeballs, is what I like to say. Like, even if you're in a different industry from someone else, you're still competing you want people to look at your account, right? We want people to look at your post. So the captions are moving into much more of a long form caption writing.
So we can write more content.
Yes.
Text content, right?
Exactly. Instagram is looking for that. And they're looking for content that's engaging and sort of like a conversation, sort of like mini blogging, if you can think of, blogging. Being intentional with the connections that you make with your followers. That's what Instagram is really looking for.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so now I've created my post, and I'm going to put in a caption and some hashtags and click the post button, right?
Yep.
And really, that sounds pretty easy, isn't it? It sounds very simple.
It is pretty simple. I think that the app is very easy to use. Now, your next steps after that, so after you've made your post, you do want to look to see who's liking or who's commenting on your post and sort of engage them back. I'm a firm believer that the more we give, the more we receive, right? Yeah. That happens in all areas of life. It's no different on social media. So I see a lot of people who will post, but they're waiting. They sit back and then they wait for someone to like and comment on their post, but then they don't go out and like and comment on someone else's post.
Oh, so we want to create that engagement with people, kind of like on Facebook. So many people are familiar with Facebook. But to go and what is it? The heart, right? Isn't it a heart?
Yeah.
Tap for the heart. Yeah. Yes. People like the heart, and so you like things and comment on them.
Exactly, and that teaches Instagram what you want. Instagram's a machine, so it kind of teaches Instagram what you want the machine to do. But then it also lets your audience know, hey, I care about engaging with your content too, right? Yep. I'm here to give just as much as I'm here to receive. So
definitely.
Yeah.
That's really great information. I want to pause for just a moment. We have over on Facebook. Oh, Susan says hello. Hi, Susan. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for commenting also. Anybody has questions, I want to invite you to ask your questions here to Jasmin, because she is like a freak about Instagram, obsessed. She's totally obsessed with it. And so we want to ask her whatever it is you want to know. She's here to help you get started with your business. So those of you who are watching on Facebook or on YouTube, we invite you to do that. So what is some tips for somebody that's just kind of brand new getting started? Because this is a picture thing. If I'm an influencer, then I have pictures where I'm in part of the pictures.
Right.
And some people might not be comfortable with that. What are some ways that I can be comfortable with that?
So I always suggest practicing taking pictures or practicing taking videos, whether it's of yourself or a physical product that you have or out in nature, whatever makes you comfortable. But I think it's important to practice. So when I first got started on Instagram, I'm really big with Instagram stories, and that's where you have really short clips of video. They go away after 24 hours. So I knew I wanted to start recording myself, and I was nervous. Like I would see myself in the video and I would like want to cry, like, oh my gosh, I made a weird face, or I talk like that, or, it's weird sometimes to see yourself. So I would practice with my phone, and I wouldn't be in the app of Instagram or any social media. I would just be on camera in my phone, and I would record myself, and I would just talk to myself in my phone. And then sometimes I would just delete it. I wouldn't even watch it, but it was a way to just practice
and get comfortable with it.
Just get comfortable with having this phone that doesn't mean anything, but we make it mean something. We make it mean so much, right? So just get comfortable with having this phone in my face. And after time, it did get more comfortable. And you sort of have to dive in sometimes, right?
Yep, you just do. I remember the first video I did here on this channel for the Online Moneymaker show. And I chopped my head off. I did this video, and my head was like chopped off right here.
Yeah.
And then because I'm a publisher and somebody had asked a book publishing question, I had held up one of my books. Well, I had my phone where it was in like the mirror image thing. So the words were backwards.
Yes.
And I was just like, afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, seriously, Michelle, what, but you know what? I had to go through that to get to where I am now, where I still make mistakes, but I don't, whatever, we're all human. And I think people like that we're real and we're raw, and this is real life here. But can you, in Instagram, if you like fudge it up, can you like delete it?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can always delete things. I mean, you can delete from stories. You can delete a post if after a while you're like, I don't really like this anymore. You can always delete. And like you said, I really think that you got to go through some of those things to then figure out, okay, I'm not going to do that next time, or I don't like doing that anymore. Maybe I've been doing something a certain way for some time, and then I decide I don't want to do that anymore.
Well, when you're looking at all those other channels, you're probably going to get lots of ideas for things too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that you should research other accounts who are in your industry on Instagram, see what they do. And it's not to steal. I always have to say that. It's not to steal ideas, it's not to take
Emulate
ideas. Yeah, just see what you can emulate, see what you can pick up, and even to say, I like how they do that, and I don't like how they do that. And then know what you like.
That's true. Okay, so we are about making money here because we're entrepreneurs. So how do we monetize this, or how do we help this to build or grow our business?
Yep. So I always like to say social media can be a long game, right? With the money making, it has to take consistency. So I think building a loyal following of your target audience is important. So keeping that consistency, I think, also shows your target audience that you're serious. So when you can show your audience, hey, I'm serious and I'm here for the long run and I'm just going to keep posting and I'm going to keep sharing, they know that you're serious. They know you're about business. So that's one thing. The other thing is you got to really learn the platform. You know, you really have to learn stories. I make a lot of money through my stories because stories is your behind the scenes. It's your raw, unedited, just everyday life. And when you can build, it's a deeper way to build a connection with your audience in stories. So think about your posts as more of the filtered, edited, polished sort of look. And then your stories is just the here I am every day.
Well, I will have to start looking at people's stories. That sounds interesting. I've seen it on there, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I love stories. I've got and I'll give you the link afterward. I have a free Instagram stories guide where I give you the first 5 days of content of what to post in your stories for 5 days.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yeah, it helps you to know, okay, introduce yourself, or, you know, ask your audience if they want this or that, or just different things, different prompts to talk about in stories. So
since it goes away in 24 hours, do we save that video or is it just a wash? You know, it's up there and it's gone.
Great question. So there's something that Instagram came out with because of that. People were like, oh, it goes away after 24 hours. I want that video. There's something called highlights. So they're like these little bubbles or these little circles on people's profiles, and you can save your stories into those highlights, and you get to choose what you save. So it's not automatic.
Oh, but that's nice. So if you had one that you particularly wanted to keep, then you would be able to still share that, or people could still find it if it was some cases, some valuable content.
Yep.
Well, that's great. So is Instagram one of those things where that will help me drive traffic to like my online store or to my, if I'm an influencer, my website or other social channels?
Absolutely. So Instagram in your profile, you have a space for a website. It's called the link in your bio. And you can always drive people to click on that link. There's also Instagram shopping. And yeah, this is very cool. So if you have a product,
I know that one.
yes, if you have products that you sell on a website, as long as you get approved, you have to apply through Instagram to get it set up. But if you can get approved, you can have little tags in your posts, both in your posts and in your stories, and it allows people to just click on this tag and it takes them directly to your store.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that have I seen that like an influencer, and I'll see the girl and she's wearing this really cute outfit and there'll be like a little something next to the purse and next to the shoes, and then is that it, what you're talking about? No, that's something different.
That's something different. So I'll see if I can find something and send it to you afterwards so you can at least take a look. But it has like a little shopping bag. Is the way that it looks. And it's typically, if you tap on it inside someone's picture is where you see it.
Oh, that's neat.
And it allows someone to actually click on it and purchase right there inside the Instagram app because it's connected to your site. So
That's super nice.
it takes away a step.
Uh-huh.
And
That's
they can buy
really
right there. Yes.
That's really neat. Yeah. Wow. So we can monetize it lots of ways by driving traffic, by creating this big following. So if we're kind of nervous about that, because we're putting our information out there, we're on Facebook, and then, everybody's like, should I go to YouTube or should I go to Twitter or Snapchat or TikTok? Or, I mean, there's so many things out there. I really love what you said about, is my target market there? And if they are, then that's the reason I need to go there,
Right.
But just like anything, stepping out and doing that is it takes effort, and it takes, so people can do this. You want to encourage them that, hey, this isn't that hard. You can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone can do it. And I find that with anything in entrepreneurship, if it were easy, everyone would do it, right? So it takes the consistency, but if you can be the one who continues to do it, you will stand out amongst the crowd. It's easy to do and easy not to do, right? It's one of those things where it's very easy to do, but it's easy to just not do it. So if you can stand out amongst the crowd and continue to grow a brand on Instagram, you will win. You will win.
That's great. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. If you have questions, feel free to ask those. Jasmin, before we wrap up, do you have any final words to say at all? Or also, of course, tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah. The last thing I'll mention is just be yourself, right?
We lost Jasmin for a minute with our connection, and I imagine she'll be right back just in a moment. So please feel free to ask your questions here. There we go. We just had a quick little blip, but she's back there. So
I'm back. I was just talking about being yourself. So
hey, you're being yourself. It's all good.
So just be yourself. I think a lot of times we feel pressure to be someone we're not, or everything has to be picture perfect. I've got to be ready. Like, I got to have everything set up and ready. But just be yourself, and the weird, quirky things that you think are embarrassing or that people will judge, whatever, just be yourself and let that shine through, and people will appreciate it. They really will.
Well, that's wonderful advice. I love that. So let's say somebody wants to get a hold of you, because do you work with people? I imagine you do.
I do. I work with people.
Okay, so if somebody wants some support, they can reach out to you.
Yep, I offer free 15-minute discovery calls. So I'm happy to chat with anyone who says, I just have a couple questions about Instagram, or what are some options of working together. I do one-on-one coaching. I've got lots of very affordable digital products on my website as well, if you want to just do some self-learning. So lots of different options to.
Okay, and then how do they find you? Do they go to Instagram to find you, or website?
Both, either. It's very simple. So it's Media Jasmin is my Instagram handle. So it's MEDIA, and then my name is spelled JASMIN. And then the website is the exact same, MediaJasmin.com. So you can find me on either, and on Facebook as well.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Jazz. I appreciate you being here today. And finally, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell icon so you get notified of new videos when they come out. If you're watching on Facebook, I thank you for watching today. If you know someone who this would be a great video for them, please tag them or share this video with them. We, of course, love to get those little thumbs up and the little hearts, so please do those as well. And if you have any questions, just comment here or reach out to Jasmin at her Media Jasmin handle or Media Jasmin website. Thank you so much for watching today. And as always, go out there and make some money and then go do good in the world with it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.